Coming up next on News San Diego, mystery shrouds the deaths of a 16-year-old and her infant son in North Park.
Pennsylvania prisoners go on a fiery rampage and still are holding hostages.
Near Los Angeles, a plane falls from the sky onto 2 homes.
These stories and much more right now on News San Diego.
From KNSD, this is News San Diego with Marty Levine, Denise Yamada, Jim Laslovic Sports, and Bob Dale Weather. Now, News San Diego.
Good evening at 11 o'clock, and thank you for joining us.
Topping our news, it's still a double homicide mystery in North Park tonight. Detectives say they're not sure how a 16-year-old woman and her 4-month-old baby boy were killed. So far, there is no motive for the deaths. Our Jack Yates has been at the scene since the bodies were recovered and returned just a short while ago. Jack?
Neighbors hadn't seen the young woman and her 4-month-old baby boy for several days. They went to check on the two this afternoon, finally breaking into their window. It was a gruesome discovery. It's a scene that made neighbors shriek in horror. The small body of the 4-month-old baby boy being removed from the Texas Street apartment. Friends had a picture of the tiny victim. The little boy's mother, reportedly only 16, was also removed tonight from the homicide location. Detectives say they don't know how the two were killed or why.
It's a possibility that it may be a double homicide, possibility that it may be a murder-suicide.
Detectives say the baby was found in the bathroom, his mother discovered on her bed in the bedroom. Because the bodies had decomposed, detectives are having trouble determining what had happened to the victims.
She was my friend. Oh, God.
Throughout the evening, it was very emotional as many of the woman's friends started showing up at the apartment, learning of the two deaths. Shantae Jones knew the woman very well.
She's not the type to cause any commotion or for anybody to kill her for any kind of reason. I mean, I just don't understand that part. We think it's like just too strange. It's just too strange that somebody just want to kill her and her baby. That doesn't sound right.
The father of the baby and the 16-year-old victim's boyfriend was sentenced to jail at the Campo Honor Farm 8 days ago. We don't know what crime he had committed. The closest relatives of the victims reportedly are in Fresno. Now, I just checked with the coroner's office. They are still not releasing the names of the victims. Police say autopsies will have to determine the cause of death, and those autopsies should begin tomorrow morning.
All right, keep us up to date on the story, Jack. Thank you. Well, another violent mystery tonight. This one is kids shooting kids. The district attorney says it's more than just kid stuff. And baseball is back in business, even if the Giants are all but dead. Marty Levine has the night off. I'm Denise Yamada, and this is News San Diego.
From KNSD, this is News San Diego with Marty Levine, Denise Yamada, Jim Laslovic Sports, and Bob Dale Weather. Now, News San Diego.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 11 o'clock. One person died tonight in the twisted wreckage of 3 cars on Sweetwater Road near Spring Valley. Officers are still investigating what caused the smash-up, but some of the vehicles ended up skidding down an embankment after the series of crashes. Besides the one fatality at the scene, 7 other people were hurt. Some were transported by ambulance. The 2 men in their 20s who were thrown from the wreckage were taken by helicopter to Sharp Hospital. Those 2 victims are in critical condition. The Highway Patrol continues to sort things out at this hour. Accidents of a different nature tonight are drawing
airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly to friendly skies.
Hot rodding gets windy in hot water.
I swear this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you.
Oh, no, he's going to spank her.
Free spirit. And nobody teaches homeroom like this.
When it comes to acting stupid, Mr. Harper's the best.
Homeroom right after Free Spirit, Sunday.
I'm Adrienne Alpert. Up next on 10 News Weekend Edition, a well-known lawyer and his new bride are found shot to death in their Hillcrest home. The lawyer's ex-wife is the chief suspect. We'll have a complete report. And the man hailed as the greatest pianist of all time has died at the age of 85. We'll look back at the life of Vladimir Horowitz.
I'm Stephen Clark. Also tonight, yet another aftershock rattles Bay Area residents asleep in their beds. And an exciting finish as the Chargers finally win a game.
Roland Stedham has a temperature change in the weather forecast.
Please stay with us. The weekend edition is coming up next.
Hi, I'm Jack Diamond.
And I'm Lisa Dent.
From the Diamond to the Morning Show on KSON. And boy,
and with a big icy Coke, it's, well, you're only human.
What's the smart way to get your kicks?
I've been served $1,000 an hour, every hour beginning at 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening.
On KSON.
Where else? Get your clock radio right now and set it to FM 97.3.
And win a grand.
It's a Big Money Monday on KSON.
Eureka delivers savings like never before because every single Eureka vac is on sale at Kmart. Get Eureka Power, Eureka quality at Kmart sale prices, like $59.88 for this deep cleaning Eureka Upright, or $99.97 for this powerful Eureka Ultra with tool set. Hurry, sale ends November 18th. Let the power of Eureka sweep you off your feet at Kmart, where we're now celebrating Christmas in America.
There's a company that more people have invested in than in IBM, GE, and Ford combined. Its assets are greater than AT&T's, and no one's ever lost a penny they put into it. But you don't have to go to Wall Street to find this company. You simply have to go to Main Street. Home Savings of America, America's largest savings institution.
KGTV San Diego. Now, Adrian Alpert's, Stephen Clark, Roland Stedham's weather, Rick Powers on sports. This is San Diego's news leader, 10 News Weekend Edition.
One of the most prominent lawyers in San Diego has been murdered in a double slaying that also claimed his new wife. Good evening. At 5 o'clock, police have issued an all-points bulletin for the victim's ex-wife. Byron Harlan has the story.
It happened in a $1 million home in one of the city's most prestigious neighborhoods. 44-year-old Daniel Broderick, a Harvard-trained lawyer and a graduate of Cornell University Medical School, had been gunned down in the upstairs master bedroom. Next to his body, his 36-year-old wife, Linda. What do neighbors remember about them?
Very quiet people. My son played with their children. It's a tragedy.
But Daniel Broderick had personal problems, difficulties with an ex-wife who police say they'd now like to question.
We have an all-units broadcast for Elizabeth Ann Broderick, who is the former wife of Daniel Broderick, one of the victims here. We believe she has some information regarding this case.
There were threats, many threats over a period of time. Dan just simply chose not to do much about the threats made toward him, and I think this may be the end result of just simply not taking stronger action against his wife.
In fact, Daniel Broderick arranged for security guards to follow his ex-wife Elizabeth when he remarried, an ex-wife who once drove a car through Daniel Broderick's front door. Police say they've found Elizabeth Broderick's car in the Pacific Beach area, bringing them one step closer to the woman who friends say wanted her ex-husband dead. Byron Harlan, 10 News.
And a 16-year-old boy was found shot to death last night in southeast San Diego. Witnesses told police they saw two men running from the scene. Police say the murder may be gang-related. The victim has been identified as Michael Vernon Barnett, Jr., a resident of southeast San Diego. The suspects are still at large. Vladimir Horowitz, the Russia-born piano
killed. His ex-wife is in custody tonight. There's been another gang-related murder in southeast San Diego, a teenager killed in his front yard. And the Chargers finally get it right in the last minutes of the game. News 8 is next.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Ever on Entertainment Tonight.
Mitch Duncan, Artie Ojeda on sports, Clark Anthony with the weather. This is the weekend edition of News 8.
Good evening. The former wife of a prominent San Diego attorney turned herself in late this afternoon to San Diego police. Elizabeth Broderick was wanted by police in connection with the shooting deaths of her ex-husband and his second wife. Both were found shot to death in their Hillcrest home today. Lorraine Kimmel has been following the story. Lorraine.
Dan Broderick was known in this town as a great attorney. His ex-wife was known for fighting him tooth and nail over their divorce. Tonight, police say she is the prime suspect in the shooting death of Broderick and his legal assistant he recently married, Linda. It was quiet at Dan Broderick's Hillcrest home this morning. The police activity an indication of something less than tranquil inside. In fact, in their upstairs bedroom, Broderick, 44, and his 28-year-old second wife, Linda, lay shot to death. Friends apparently got a call in the early hours of the morning that something was wrong. Those friends got in through a window and found the bodies. Police got a call soon after. The police say Broderick's ex-wife may have made both phone calls.
We have an all-units broadcast for Elizabeth Ann Broderick, who we believe is his ex-wife. We believe she has some information that might bear on this case.
Broderick may have been successful in his professional life, but his personal life was filled with turmoil. He and his first wife, Betsy, had a bitter divorce, bitter custody battles. In fact, at one point, she drove her car up his walk and into his house. Broderick's children were apparently at their mother's La Jolla home when the shootings took place. Police talked with them today, but by mid-afternoon, their mother was still nowhere to be found. Dan Broderick made a mark, and a significant one, in the legal community in San Diego. His friends and colleagues are horrified.
He was a lawyer, a great lawyer, a doctor, he graduated medical school. He's just a wonderful person. And it's just real sad. It's incredible that the number of people that will be hurt, just not just friends, but he's got 4 really wonderful kids.
They're very nice, very quiet people. My son played with their children. It's a tragedy.
Dan and Linda Broderick had only been married a short time. They got married at this house, the same place where they were found shot to death. Police found the handgun they believe was used to shoot Dan and Linda Broderick. It was found in the ex-wife's car. Elizabeth Broderick should be formally charged within the next 2 days.
And Lorraine, we certainly have a good idea what those charges are going to be.
Likely 2 counts of murder.
Okay, thank you. What a tragedy. Thanks, Lorraine.
You're welcome.
This next story is also about murder, a murder story we've heard time and time again. A teenager gunned down in front of his house. Another familiar line. Police say it's gang-related. News 8's Chris Saunders has the story.
16-year-old Michael Barnett was sitting outside his Groveland Street apartment complex with a friend last night when he was shot 3 times. He died instantly. Another young life wasted. Police say it was probably gang-related, but they don't have much to say about who the suspects are.
They just pulled out a gun and shot him.
The neighborhood kids say it was a gang shooting too. They say Michael Barnett flashed a gang sign. Michael Barnett's foster mother says he was always a very sweet child, but when he turned 16, he started running wild. Last night, she says he asked her if he could stay out just a few minutes longer. She said yes. Then moments later, she heard the shots. She knew right away that Michael was involved, and she says he always told her he had nothing to do with gangs, but that he always listened too much to what other kids tried to tell him to do.
I feel sad for him.
Maybe the saddest thing about this story, aside from the fact that a teenager is dead, is that these children playing in the parking lot have to grow up with things like this happening around them. While they say they're sad about it, you get the feeling that they're almost used to it. A little excitement in the neighborhood, but no big deal. And that is sad. Chris Saunders, News 8, Southeast San Diego.
In Canada, and the killer was gunning for women.
Tonight, here in the county, a case to keep homicide detectives busy.
Plus, a new move to keep more of these from turning up off the Southern California coast.
These stories, and the Padres pick up another major name player now on News San Diego.
From KNSD, this is News San Diego with Marty Levine, Denise Yamada, Jim Laslovic Sports, and Bob Dale Weather. Now, News San Diego.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 11 o'clock.
He said, "I want the women," and what he wanted them for was death. Tonight at the University of Montreal, 14 women are dead, targets of a berserk gunman who ended his campus rampage by killing himself. Police say the man barged into a crowded classroom, yelling in French, "You're all a bunch of feminists, and I want the women."
The guy entered in the class, and he asked the boys and the girl to be separated in the room. And after that, he we didn't move at first, and he shot a shot on the wall, and after that, actually, we moved real fast.
Once the men left the classroom, the gunman opened fire, killing 6 women there, 8 more in other parts of the building. 12 other people hit by gunfire. They're being treated at Montreal hospitals. Canadian authorities say it is the worst case of mass murder in their country's history. No one has yet identified the gunman or even hazarded a guess, as to why he came to the campus to kill these women.
Marty, Colombian government officials tonight fear it's the start of a new campaign of mass killing by drug traffickers. A truck bomb containing a half-ton of dynamite exploded outside police headquarters in Bogota today during morning rush hour. At least 35 people were killed, 1,000 injured in the blast that tore open a crater 20 feet deep and destroyed and damaged several buildings. So far, no one has claimed responsibility for the explosion, but authorities say it is most certainly the work of drug traffickers fighting back against the war on drugs declared by the government 4 months ago. Here in San Diego several months ago, police and the mayor promised to step up their war on drugs and help the people of Southeast San Diego. But tonight, people living there are feeling more threatened than ever. And once again, they have gathered at a church. John Britton reports.
It's the corner of 38th and National. You can buy crack cocaine or maybe lose your life in a drive-by shooting. A few blocks away, an abandoned house, now a shooting gallery for heroin addicts. It's not news, just the same frightening reality.
I'm terrified, completely terrified to walk through this street. I have to hide my money because I'm terrified to have it snatched again.
Once again tonight, an audience overflowing with families pleading for help. On the hot seat, this man, Police Captain Jerry Sanders.
Every other night there are gunshots in the corridor or around us. And I wonder how long we'll wait before somebody gets hurt or killed once again, as we've had murders, and this time it'll be young children.
What is actually being done about the drug problem? All I hear is talk, 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 and no solution. And I want to know...
Okay, we're going to go here and sit down.
The police and the mayor have promised to help, and they're trying. Extra officers, special details. But despite several crackdowns, they can't keep cops on every corner. And as soon as the police leave, the druggies are back in business.
There's some locations that they mentioned that are out of control. And despite our best efforts, despite having officers there constantly, frequently, all the time, we're unable to control them using traditional methods. So we'll try some new things on that.
They ended this meeting tonight with a prayer, seeking help from a higher power. And certainly it's needed, because despite the best efforts of the mayor and the best efforts of the police department, these people continue to live bottled up inside their own homes in fear, minus the one thing they're demanding, to feel safe in their own neighborhoods. John Britton, News San Diego.
Captain Sanders told John tonight he'll try some new methods of enforcement, then report back to the people in 60 days.
Drug-addicted babies and their mothers will soon get more help from the federal government. This, according to Senator Pete Wilson. He was here today visiting drug-addicted babies at the UCSD Medical Center at the neonatal unit. Wilson is holding 2-week-old Richie. Doctors say Richie was born 6 weeks prematurely to a cocaine user. Wilson says the tragedy of drug-addicted babies must be stopped. He says the government will soon be spending tens of millions of dollars to treat drug-using mothers and their children. And police are asking for your help in this case tonight. A tiny baby, the 2-day-old, found yesterday abandoned in the parking lot of the Marriott in Mission Valley. He's at Sharp Hospital now, and doctors say he is doing well, but they admit when he was found just in time. Well, the search is on now for his parents and perhaps for relatives who could take him in. If no one is found, the infant will be placed in foster care. If you know who the mother is, authorities would very much like to hear from you.
Homicide detectives aren't sure yet whether it's a case of murder, but they're looking into it. A motorist with car problems discovered the body of a man on the side of the road on Highway 94 near Hamul late today. Detectives have not yet identified the man, and they say he was a white man with red hair. They're not sure of his age, but there was evidence of head trauma. An autopsy will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. They want justice for the murders of 6 priests in El Salvador last month, and tonight, students and faculty at the University of San Diego made their feelings known in a quiet way through a candlelight vigil. It's believed the 6 Jesuit priests and their 2 housekeepers were killed by a right-wing death squad. And since their deaths, fierce fighting has been underway in El Salvador. Tonight's vigil was also a way to educate and sensitize the students to the atrocities in that country.
As far as she knows, she sleepwalks only once every week.
ABC News, around the world and into your home, the stories that touch your life, with Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters. This is 2020. Tonight, it started sweetly, but ended deadly. Dan and Betty Broderick looked picture perfect. Then, a bitter breakup. She lost her children, lost her husband to another woman. Emotionally ravaged, she went from this to this. For him, a new bride. For her, the torment wouldn't end.
This is more than I can handle. I just can't handle this anymore.
And soon, a nightmare would unfold.
Well, she said she was going to kill him.
She didn't stop with him. She killed his new wife, too.
Everything's over. Me and him and her. Everything's over. But it's over.
Her first trial hung jury. Her defense, he drove her to the edge.
How could she put up with it that long? I couldn't put up with it. I wouldn't put up with it. I'd take some action, drastic action.
Tonight, a potential landmark case using emotional battering as a defense. Tom Jarrell with the only television interview with Betty Broderick. Till death do us part. Plus, one of the most anticipated movies in years, Disney's version of Beauty and the Beast. 2020 watched it take shape, saw the pressure to create a beast audiences will love. What would he look like? How would he feel?